Howdy folks, Cameron Ponsford here with Green Tex Builders. I'm standing here with Chuck Kruger, our architect at 2500 Great Oaks Parkway. Beautiful site here in the middle of Allendale in north central Austin. We're here to tell you a little bit about a project we recently completed here. As you can see, it's got a standing seam metal roof, generous overhangs, and those are just a couple of the features that helped us achieve a provisional 4-star rating under Austin Energy Green Building. And as you can see, our landscaping isn't quite finished yet, but we've got a couple of points there that as soon as we finish our landscaping, we'll achieve that 5th star, which is the highest star rating under Austin Energy's Green Building Program. Chuck was instrumental in the project and supported us a lot during the construction and produced some construction documents that made it real easy for us to achieve a very high-performing and sustainable home. Chuck, we built this home under what a lot of people call an integrated project delivery method, which we feel is very important for our homeowners because it allows them to kind of create a budget and a design in tandem, and so that the cost planning and the design planning go along hand in hand. Have you had good success with that system so far?
Yes, I have. And first I think what you need to look at is this whole process of start to finish of building the home. When the Gories came to me, they had a list of criteria. And basically a vision of what they hoped this house to be to actually feel like home to them. And it's my job, I feel, as an architect then to take those things and to develop them into a form, and then to translate that form through working drawings, construction documents, to something on paper that y'all can look at as a builder, quantify it, price it, and ultimately build it.
Yeah.
And it's a collaborative process. It takes all of us working together, communicating. We start out with a concept, which is basically just a broad stroke solution to the design problem of what is this house going to be. Mm-hmm. We develop that into preliminary drawings, which we give to you, the builder, which allows you to start pricing, set up a budget that's realistic.
Right.
So the Gories, when they go forward, they know what this is costing them in an early stage.
Right.
We further then develop that during the construction document process, in which case we also, as you know, we brought you in to do some value engineering.
Right.
How is best to accomplish what we're trying to do.
Right.
And then once we have those construction documents done, y'all do your final pricing and start permitting and then building. Right. And which at that point, then there's more decisions need to be made as far as appliances, finishes, and that part, while y'all take the lead in the construction, then the Gories, and with communications with me as the architect or interior designer, put these little elements that make the finished product. And at the end, hopefully, they walk in and they say, yeah, this is familiar, this is what we had dreamed of.
So Chuck, going back to the original concept phase of this project, the Gories came to you with some pretty specific goals. Obviously, they've got a growing family, they've got a 3-year-old son, and possibly planning for more children down the road. They also had some specific sustainability goals that you're able to help them achieve.
Well, it comes back to, I feel, good design at the beginning. If you do a well-designed, well-thought-out project that's well insulated, using quality materials, reusing materials where you can, using sustainable materials, you're going to get that high rating that they were hoping for. Here we were fortunate enough to have an existing house with a good structure, good bones, as you might call it. We were able to reuse a lot of it, a lot of materials.
Sure. For instance, all this brick was salvaged and repainted. Mm-hmm. A lot of the wood we used was either salvaged, and we'll take a look inside and see some of the salvage materials later. But there's a couple of things, very noticeable from the street view here. For instance, the generous overhangs here. We've got 30-inch overhangs over all the windows, which blocks a lot of the solar heat gain through the windows and kind of keeps the house cool during the summer. Chuck specified a standing seam metal roof, which is very durable, great for rainwater collection. As you can see, we've got gutters integrated into the entire roofing system for rainwater collection. The porch here is something that, may be an overlooked feature in a lot of houses, especially in a neighborhood like Allendale, where there's a lot of, family activity and a lot of community interactivity. You see a lot of, real generous porches here in this area. Is that important in Austin?
Now, fortunately, it's coming back. We're providing nice, generous porches where people can hang out on the front porch, meet their neighbors walking up and down the street, particularly in a beautiful neighborhood like this.
Yeah.
This is just a perfect setting. We've got some beautiful old oak trees, which it's so inviting to be out here.
Yeah.
And that's one thing to keep in mind, and one thing that played big into trying to keep a lot of the existing structure is because we didn't want to interfere with the root system of a lot of these trees or their crowns.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a couple other things we're excited to show you. Why don't we take a walk through the house, and we can show you a couple things in the backyard and the back porch that also contributed to make this a healthy, sustainable, and efficient home. So Chuck helped us design a house here with a super tight thermal envelope, which means that we're keeping out a lot of that hot summer air and keeping out the cold winter air so the Gories can remain comfortable in their home. That doesn't always mean that we have to keep the house completely closed off. For instance, you can see here, we're able to encourage, Chuck, if you can help me out here, yeah. We're able to encourage a lot of natural ventilation, and this door lends to a particular effect called cross ventilation that'll allow cool air, especially during the summer months, to come in through this generous screen porch and create a nice draft throughout the house, and that way the Gories can stay comfortable with nice, cool, moving air without having to crank up their AC, on nice days outside. So here we are standing on the back porch, which, as you saw before, is connected to the house through an accordion-style door, lending to a real seamless transition between indoor and outdoor space, and a real nice way to create natural ventilation throughout the house. The Gories spend a lot of time out on this porch, enjoying time with their family and friends, and as you can see here, we've got a unique system that allows the porch to be screened in or not, just based on their preferences and based on the weather for the day. So this kind of thing is great for keeping out flies and mosquitoes, as Chuck was saying. Also creates a little bit of sunshade to keep some of that solar heat gain out. Chuck, do you see this kind of thing in a lot of houses in Austin?
Yeah, I really do. We're doing more and more of this. The nice part about it, it's retractable and it's basically hidden when you don't want it. You're not constantly having to screen down, but when you do need it, it comes basically out of nowhere and seals off. We've done this in quite a few homes.
So here we're standing at one of the main interfaces between the existing structure that we remodeled and the new structure, which is the second-story addition to this house. A lot of people come to us, and I'm sure come to Chuck and ask, what are the benefits and drawbacks of building new from scratch and scraping down an existing residence, or trying to make do with what you've got. Are there any general guidelines that you give to your prospects and your clients about that decision?
Structural issues, then it's usually better to tear it down and just start over.
Yeah.
Now, as being good stewards of the environment, you really want to weigh that carefully, because you, of course, want to try to save what you can, and particularly a quality older home, there's no real good reason to tear it down and start over.
What are the benefits of having natural daylighting for a family here in Austin?
Well, this really works as a light well. It brings light down the center of the house. There's light is so important, and if you can do it by daylighting and not have to turn on your electrical outlets, I mean, you're just saving energy.
Right.
Also, all these windows are operable, which allows us to open up the house and get that cross ventilation. When you put operable windows, particularly in an area like this, a stairwell, which is high, you're going to create a natural draft that brings that fresh air in from downstairs and lets it exhaust up here where the warmer air is.
Yeah. Well, hey Chuck, I sure appreciate you coming to spend a little time with us today and show us around the house. If you guys want more information on good sustainable residential design here in Austin, I encourage you to visit www.chuckkrueger, that's KRUEGER.com. Thanks again, Chuck.
Thank you.